Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what you're about to witness is utter greatness, seen around the world. Do you believe that? Well, if you don't, get out. Well, stick around for a while. We'll see. We'll be back right after this.
One message for you from your aunt. She will bust both of you in the head. Can y'all hear me?
Not rocket science, you know.
I think you, like me, have a face for radio.
Can y'all?
That's weird. Let's try this again.
One message for you from your aunt. She will bust both of you in the head. Can y'all hear me?
Not rocket science, you know.
I think you, like me, have a face for radio.
Can y'all hear me?
We gonna play with the players we got. Next man up.
That's why it sucks.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
This kind of unprofessionalism does not need to be tolerated. And I mean it. Like,
can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
what the hell is going on here? Just all hang up.
Another episode of the BS Podcast.
Hang on. There's all kinds of noise in my ear now.
Oh, jeez.
We need a little bit more professionalism.
I don't hear nothing.
Hello?
How's that going? Is that better?
There you go.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. Technical difficulties, but I'll start it over. Welcome back to another episode of the BS Podcast. I'm your host, Quincy Moran, in the BS studio with my boys. Going to be a light crew tonight, but we do have some special guests in the green room for you. It's very exciting. But tonight we'll start out. Josh Moran, tell the people who you are and what you do.
I'm Josh Moran. Lately, I've been wasting 3.5 hours a weekend watching the Raiders play. So that's what I do. And next week, I'm going to waste a trip to Houston. I'm not going to waste it, but it won't be enjoyable to watch my team play. But, that's it.
Yeah, that's true. It is. It's going to be a bloodbath. But thankfully, D'Amico will be there. And Will Anderson will be there. And so if you decide to run to the edge, jump on the field, just run as fast as you can to get there. And then we'll see what the news does for the rest. And the other man in the studio, Wild Bill. Wild Bill, what is going on this evening, my man?
Just cold weather in Alabama, man. Goodness.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like 37.
I can't say the same next week for here.
It's like 37 degrees in Texas, and it feels cold, but it just I feel ridiculous saying that 37 is cold. When some of my colleagues within the company I work with, they were talking today about minus 20 up in Canada. So, but it's a great night. Go ahead, Wild Bill.
I had to watch my Packers lose to Bo Nix and the Denver Cowboys yesterday. That's disgusting.
I remember a time where you told me that Bo Nix sucked.
He still does.
That's poetic justice right there, buddy.
Anybody that's played at Auburn, come on. They have to suck.
Once Micah Parsons went down. But the turning point was when Jordan Love threw the interception. Patrick Surtain intercepted. That turned the whole game around. But anyway.
They still had a chance there at the end, though.
But it still wasn't as bad as Alabama basketball. So.
Yeah, it's I don't know how that's going to end up as far as the season goes. I do know this, that yet again I will be in attendance to at a basketball game in Norman, Oklahoma, and the last time I was there, it was an absolute bloodbath. So props to Josh for buying me some tickets to go watch Alabama at Norman again for my birthday. But I am concerned that it's going to be a problem. But we'll see.
As long as Oklahoma don't have a couple of 7-footers that dominate inside, we'll be all right. But anybody
they do.
Got a big guy, we're in trouble.
we are in trouble. And speaking of the Sooners, we are going to talk tonight. It is the playoff preview show for the BS podcast. And just so you know, I invited one of my favorite Sooner fans ever on the program, and he's definitely in the green room. His name is Jay Roche, Boomer Sooner in the house. So he'll be coming up later in the program. And then for those of you that would like to see this as well, there's a gentleman that's in the green room now. We were having some mixed words over on X, and I shared my sentiment in rebuttal to a man named Austin RTR. And so we're going to talk about that. He's going to come on. He has asserted that I'm dumb, which, Josh, you will probably agree with that. But we're going to bring him on and have a very gentlemanlike discussion based on what Damian Harris said, on what I said, and then what this gentleman named Will said. So I think it ought to be a lot of fun. At the end of the day, we're Alabama fans. Maybe Will will, give us his opinion on what's going to happen with the Sooners. And then, of course, we have Jay Roche here for the Boomer Sooner Nation. And we'll talk about that.
Could you tell me why you thought it was a good idea to bring a Sooner fan on the week of the game? No offense. No offense, Jay Roche.
Well, it sounds like you're offended, so how can you say no offense, you ninny?
Well, I mean, you have to say that. That's the phrase that comes after you say something offensive.
Why not bring him on? Why not have a counterpoint of view on here?
Well, as long as he doesn't come on next Monday if we lose, because I don't want that smoke.
That's okay. Let's bring him back on. What are we going to do? I mean, he's here to talk to us about what he thinks the Boomer Sooners going to do. Matter of fact, he was very classy after we traveled all the way to Tuscaloosa, you and I, to watch Alabama give that football game away. Now, we disagree on the pick six, and that's okay. We can see things differently, but I felt like it would be great to have a Boomer Sooner fan in here. He can give us the latest and greatest on what's going on in Oklahoma. Maybe we can feed that back to DeBoer and his staff and, get some odds, but we'll see how it goes. Before then, I mean, normally in quarter one, after in the first quarter, we have Wild Bill is Bama bullet points. Wild Bill, do you have anything prepared for us this evening before we get started?
I've got two.
All right, we'll take it.
The first one is mind-boggling to me. Out of Alabama's last 24 offensive possessions. Now, last 24, 11 3 and outs.
Yeah.
11 3 and outs, 2, so that'd be 13 with 4 plays. So that's less than 50%.
I mean, you guys you could travel back into last season and the frustrations we had with Milroe and with Nick Sheridan and the hope that we had when Grubb got fired. I guess, of course, we should have had some understanding of you get fired after your first year. It's like that scene from Friday. How are you going to get fired on your day off? Well, Bill, I know you won't know that particular scene, but Grubb gets fired after 1 year. We get excited because he's coming back. We feel like he's going to add some great aspect, some great, he's going to infuse something exciting into the offense. We get toasted on the road against FSU. And then we see some glimmers of hope, but what good has Ryan Grubb actually been for Alabama?
I'll tell you who he's been good for. It's been good for the Seahawks. They're 11-3 and killing it, so that's not good for us.
I just thought that was out of our last 24 offensive.
I know what he's been good for.
Nothing.
He's been good for all the Alabama weed dealers because of all the anxiety he's putting all them stoners through. So they're making a killing off of Ryan Grubb.
I don't know if that would even make the game look better. All right, Wild Bill, what's next?
The second one is our special teams are really bad. Punting, kicking, punt coverage, kickoff coverage. I heard one of the podcasts.
He's played a little better the last few games he's been in there, but
and if Oklahoma gets to our 40-yard line, that little old left-footed, short-britched boy, he's money. They need to hurt that little old pencil thing.
Why would you say that? You always get mad at people for saying stuff like that.
Well, he's got his short breeches on.
That dude is good, man.
That's what I said. If they get to our 40-yard line, that's 3 in the bag.
Yeah, but the issue is they had 200 yards of offense in the last. We turned the ball over. We probably wouldn't even have saw him hardly in the game.
I know.
Yeah.
So my last one, I got one more right quick. Who's the number one quarterback in the transfer portal?
Lagway. TJ Lagway.
Nope.
Well, what you mean?
I know who it is. It's Dylan Lonergan from Boston College.
Y'all don't give up on Dylan Lonergan, man.
I just read the article. The number one quarterback in the transfer portal.
Oh, I saw it.
The guy from Cincinnati.
Oh, never mind. I got one for you.
Who started at Indiana.
Oh.
So why is he the number one guy in the transfer portal?
I say because of his ability, what he's accomplished without much talent. But of course, DJ Lagway hadn't had a lot of talent either.
Hey, Uncle Bill, I got one for you. Give me 1 second to get it up on the screen.
The guy from Nebraska hadn't had a whole lot. I say Lagway will end up at LSU.
That was my thought. One of those guys is probably going to end up at LSU, and Lane Kiffin is he's gonna start throttling some of these SEC defenses as he has.
Hey, guys.
Hey, as of just a little while ago, let's check this to see when this was. It was 50 minutes ago. Check this out. Look who has hit the transfer portal. TJ Finley is transferring from Georgia State. He's trying to get another year of eligibility. He's from LSU to Auburn to Texas State to Western Kentucky and then to Tulane, and now he's at Georgia State.
And he's wanting to transfer from Georgia State?
Yeah, he wants another year.
Well, I mean, look at Pavia. I made a post out there when he and his brothers were walking into the Heisman Trophy event and just saying, somebody was clowning on him. I can't remember who it was. And I was like, hey, this is him walking into practice at 35 at Vanderbilt, trying to get his next year of eligibility. Because, I mean, he's actively suing the NCAA to get another year, right? Year 7, year 6. I mean, take it where you can get it, I guess. I don't know.
7.
Yeah, I don't care what they say. 2 years junior college to it, and you must go to it. Then 2 plus 2, well, which Pavia don't know that. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. I'm sure he can't comprehend that.
Well, to Pavia, 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 4.
Yeah, but you got to add. I don't care what he says. You got to add the other 2.
Yeah, well,
2 plus 2 plus 2 times 17 equals my gold grill. That's what Pavia said.
Indeed. And so I have a feeling that in this current climate, they're probably going to grant him at least 10 additional years of eligibility. So he'll be around, and he'll actually end up being the next Phillip Rivers, which, hey, I got respect for Phillip Rivers. Come on in, get the job done. One for the old guys.
I'll tell you what happened is the Raiders are going to draft him. And I actually wouldn't be too mad about that because we need somebody that's a bastard.
Well, I don't know what he's going to be able to do. I mean, how tall was Doug Flutie compared to Pavia?
I don't know. How tall is Pavia?
5'6", I think.
He is not 5'6", and Doug Flutie was like 5'8". He is. He's 6 foot.
Nah,
he's 6 foot.
They lied on that. They lied on that.
Hey, I'll tell you what. The last time the Raiders had a Hispanic quarterback, it ended up pretty damn good. So I'll try. We need somebody with
who was that?
We need a butthole on the team, dude. It's just going to treat everybody like shit.
Who was their last Hispanic?
I don't know, but I mean, we've got one that's a Hall of Famer. What was his name?
Jim Plunkett.
No,
he was a Native American.
What was his name, Quincy?
I don't.
I'll have to look it up.
Which guy?
Hispanic QB.
Jamarcus Russell.
Oh, dude, no. Tom Flores. No, wait.
Okay.
He was the coach.
Hang on, I'll find it. Keep talking. Y'all keep
Yeah, it did.
What's there to talk about? Oh, Wild Bill, with all the technical difficulties, forgive me. I forgot your intro music. Let me go ahead and play it. Let me go ahead and play it for you right now.
We through that. No,
that was good. So what we're going to do?
It's Jim Plunkett. He was Mexican and Native American.
Yeah, but he was more than Native American than he was.
Well, whatever you want to say, he was Hispanic.
Pavia is not in his class, though.
Here's the thing: is I really don't care what your nationality is. I just want you to be a winner. And so, who can the Raiders draft to get rid of Mark Davis? Because that would be good.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you, and I'll say this for everybody listening. Our owner is good at running a WNBA team, and that should tell you everything you need to know about the Raiders office in the front office in the football world. Because he's got three championships in the WNBA. And if you know how to build a team full of lesbians, you don't know how to build a football team.
Okay, we're getting off the rails already.
I'm just saying it's true. And
he's going to get the former coach from Michigan to come down and help.
Dude, Tom Brady could go Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is one of the worst owners that's the worst thing he's done.
Former coach at Michigan. He's unemployed right now.
The thing is that I thought Tom Brady was going to be a positive influence on what the Raiders do. I can't say after a year that he's not, but man, it's just
the worst football I've ever seen the Raiders play. So I don't care about Tom Brady.
And yesterday, just looking at there was an X-Post that said statement game, and I was going to make a comment, which I'm a nobody, but I was going to make a comment, but it was Crosby on there saying statement game.
Don't mess with Crosby. He always plays.
I didn't want to say anything because, he's out there giving all of his effort. Not that anything I say is going to matter to many people, although Will took issue with it, and so did Austin RTR, and so did a guy named Skyler. So we're gonna have Will on here pretty soon. He's a great sport coming on. I've invited so many people on the podcast that have called me out, probably for saying worse than I'm dumb, which I won't take offense to that. I think it's pretty funny.
Quincy, you literally took offense to it.
How so?
You asked him on the podcast.
I asked him on the podcast to explain it, not because I was offended.
Oh, okay, well, all right. Well, what if he literally explains why you're dumb and you agree with him? Will you be offended?
No, then I'm dumb.
Oh, so you won't know you're offended because you're dumb.
Yeah, I'm too dumb to know.
You are too dumb to know. That's why I said you invited him on the podcast.
Oh, well, maybe he'll line me out, but I think what's going to be important is that we go to the video and watch it, look at what I said, and then maybe I just misunderstood what his question was. But it's good. That's why we're here. We're going to talk about it. All right, Wild Bill, you know what? I'm going to play your video whether you like it or not.
Everybody knows that photo shoot with Wild Bill and his that is actually real, and it cost about $12,000 to make.
Yeah, and there was no AI in the process. I just want to make sure that you're aware of that.
Before we go to the next thing, I got a question for Josh. What happened in the pregame of the Packers Denver game yesterday?
I didn't see that. I was too busy watching the Raiders and the rest of the multi-view.
I hadn't seen I just know there was a little scuffle before the game started. I don't know who it was, what it was.
Let's see.
Or whatnot. I thought you might have known. So anyway, all right. I'm through, Quincy.
Hey, it's no problem. Wild Bill, you're VIP on here, and you interrupt this program anytime you like. You have the full authority to do so. You don't have the technical ability to do it. Of course, neither do I, because I can't even get the mechanics to work on the show. But that's all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for the second quarter.
This is the second quarter of the best podcast. Roll Tide.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for the second quarter. Typically, in the second quarter, the cute dog is going to give you stats. We'll just talk about the previous game. There is no way in tarnation I'm bringing up the stats from that Alabama-Georgia game. You can forget that. But we do have a treat. Yeah. But we do have a treat for you tonight. We're going to have a gentleman by the name of Will on the program. I'm going to bring him in from the green room. I'm going to ask him to introduce himself. Tell us who he is and what he does. Will, welcome to the program, sir. Roll Tide. Thanks for coming on.
Roll Tide, gentlemen. How are y'all?
Oh, man, we're
Good.
good.
Nice
We
to meet
are
you.
good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, my name's Will. I live out in Nashville now as a CPA. I went to University of Alabama from 2020 to 2025. My freshman year was our last national championship, unfortunately, but looking for one this year.
So are we.
Thanks, one of us that went to Alabama, so we're all full of shit.
No, now listen, I don't know about you guys, but I went to Shelton State for my freshman year of college, the sister college to the University of Alabama. So that's got to count for nothing. But it's Will, it's great to have you on the program. Thanks for engaging with us on Twitter.
Thanks for the invite.
You got it, buddy.
And I'd like
Let's go.
Just to preface before you go on, I did not mean to call you dumb. I meant anybody who thought what Damien said was true. I feel like that's a dumb idea.
That's okay.
So he called you dumb.
I
I don't mind.
From the transitive property, it would be calling you dumb, but I just thought it was a dumb statement that Damien made and to agree with.
Hey, it's all right.
I agree. A lot of that was dumb too, Quincy.
Well, that is okay. And even if you called me dumb, I'm not offended. I like to get on and talk about things, share ideas, and just have you talk through what makes me dumb. And so I wanted to bring on Damien's post. I don't have Damien on the show. There's no secret here. But I want to listen to what he said and then my reply to Austin RTR, which Austin RTR has quite a bit of followers. I never knew who he was, but we've just gone back and forth before. But let's get this up on the screen and see what was said here. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Affirmative.
Okay, all right, Damien, we're going to pass it over to you. What do you have to say, sir?
Yeah, in my opinion, I think his job is on the line with this game, Akeem. And I think that there's a lot of reasons why. One, we've seen how hard it is to beat a team twice in college football. And if we look at this Alabama team and we say you showed no improvement from the first time you played Oklahoma to the second time, you weren't able to make adjustments to flip the script of that game, and you can't win that football game. Luckily, getting into the playoffs, that's going to be a problem. A first-round exit after missing the playoffs last year. Listen, this isn't the tradition. This isn't the history that Alabama fans are used to. This isn't the standard of excellence that is used to being had in Tuscaloosa at the University of Alabama. And people are still talking about that. And the third thing for me is everybody, myself included, but a lot of Alabama fans are sitting here and waiting for Kalen DeBoer to essentially put a chokehold on this team and basically say, this is the way that we need to do things. We haven't lived up to the standard yet, and now is the time to do it because we were given an opportunity to still play for a national championship. Although we have not played to our best standard over the past 4 weeks, we are still gifted an opportunity. Now we get to go out and compete for a national championship. If you can't do these things, I know it's year two. I know we're talking about we need to give coaches time. But when we're talking about the University of Alabama and the legacy that needs to be set and needs to be left, and Kalen DeBoer needs to put his own DNA on that, we're not seeing that right now. We're seeing a team that's full of a lot of potential, has a lot of talent, they have a lot of resources, but they just haven't lived up to the billing quite yet during the Kalen DeBoer tenure. And I know people think guys like me and AJ, we're just talking out the side of our necks when we get in front of a camera. These are the same things that Alabama fans say to each other. They just don't like when our dirty laundry gets aired out to the public. I get that. I understand that. Everything I'm sitting here saying is the same conversation that people in Tuscaloosa are having. People all over the country that are Alabama fans, they're having the same conversations. With all that being said, Hakeem, I think Kalen DeBoer's job, it'll be in a little bit of jeopardy going into the next season if they don't win this football game.
All right, so
Also,
there are.
I would like to say the only the thing I have an issue with is, why are you airing our dirty laundry?
Okay, boo-hoo. What's the dirty laundry? You could go to X. I almost said Twitter. You can go to X and hear people saying those very things, and so when I look at that, I'll start with Josh, and then I'll go to Wild Bill, and then Will, I'll come to you just to say, what are your thoughts on the comments as a whole? Leave me being dumb out of it for the time being. What did he say that you would disagree with, Josh?
I'm not the one that called you dumb because, as a matter of fact, I agree with a lot of the stuff he said because you have to look at all the regression we've had as a team over the last 2 years at the end of the season, whether it was Milroe or Simpson. Like, the offense has regressed. No matter we bring Grubb in, it's regressed. He doesn't have the cojones to put another quarterback in to see if that'll shake things up, give Ty a break, maybe get him back in the right mindset. Maybe he's injured. Who knows? If he's injured, why aren't you playing one of our other quarterbacks, giving him a shot to maybe get the ball rolling on offense? Ryan Grubb's offensive play calling has been horrible. And you're the CEO. So at the end of the day, a lot of people are going to say, hey, he's a great coach. You're in the playoffs. He went 10-2, won an SEC. But, it's not about that for me. It's about the downward trajectory at each of the seasons. And then you get waxed in the SEC championship. And now, if we lose this game, that's 8 losses in 2 years. That's not going to do it. And we can sit here and say there's nobody available, but I did give Will a few suggestions of who I thought would be a good coach that was out there. And if it's me, I'm throwing the world at D'Amico Ryans and getting him to leave the NFL and coming to win championships at Alabama, his alma mater, who I know he loves. And it's just a fact. I don't like that they go on there and air our dirty laundry out. I would rather other people talk crap about Alabama and all of us kind of keep it, close to the vest. It's kind of like talking shit about your sister. You can do it, but when other people do it, it's not a good thing. But you keep it in the house. So we'll see what happens with this. If we lose, then I don't know how you don't fall on a hot seat when you have this kind of talent. And you've had the type of regression we've had both years in a row. And every game is a struggle. There are no beatdowns. And I don't like watching that kind of football personally. I'm okay with good games. But when it's a game you should be beating the hell out of the opponent and you don't, I have an issue with that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And one thing I didn't ask Austin before I even got through with my post, just because I disagreed with Austin. I didn't ask him, did you actually watch the video? Because if you take what CBS does and they take a clip as clickbait, then you don't get the totality of what his discussion is. So I think there's a whole lot of context outside of just what the clip says there. I think Kalen DeBoer's job is on the line. So, Wild Bill, what are your thoughts? Will, I'm going to give you an opportunity once Wild Bill is done, and then I'll talk you through why I made the comments that I did.
I don't think he'd be on the hot seat. All right, Will said he was there in 20, the last championship. 21, 22, 23, Coach Saban was still our coach. Did we win a national championship then any of those years?
We did not.
Was Coach Saban, was we having trouble in those last 3 years?
We were. Yes.
We went to South Florida and nearly got beat. Coach Saban was still the coach. Did we not?
That's true.
So Coach Saban had lost control of the team. We were being penalized. Coach Saban the last 3 years that he was there. Now, Coach Saban's still the greatest coach, but somebody within the athletic department has lied to the Alabama fans. Greg Burns says nobody else was interviewed to replace Coach Saban except Kalen DeBoer. Some of these other guys are saying DeBoer wasn't the first one that they talked to. Several turned it down. So somebody is lying to the Alabama people. Would that not be true? Did Greg Byrne not say he's the only one that we interviewed? We went up there and brought him to Tuscaloosa.
That's what I heard. Yes.
But you got people like Damian Harris and them saying that he wasn't the first choice. Well, who was the other ones that they interviewed then? See, they want to say
Dan Lanning.
they want to. Oh, they didn't talk to Dan Lanning.
Then why did he make a statement?
Because he's a liar.
How do you know? How do we know that Greg?
They didn't talk to Dan Lanning.
Are we supposed to believe that Greg Byrne is above a lie when it comes
we gotta keep in mind that Jimmy Sexton is a master manipulator in getting these people extensions because they're all represented by the same people.
Yep.
Yes, I agree.
So I don't think he'd be on the hot seat, but they need to be some improvement. Period. So I'll leave it at that. I'll let Will take.
Hey, real quick, I want to say Saban in 2021, 13-2, 22, 11-2, 2023, 12-2. So I'm talking about 4 losses a year. That's not going to cut it.
Yeah, and I would agree with much of what you said, Wild Bill. The difference is I don't necessarily know that Saban lost control of the team. I think his most difficult challenge was the battle of attrition when it came to continuity on the coaching staff, because all that incredible success, they just kept hiring away, and he could not get consistency in coaching. That's an outsider's perspective. I know how important it is just at the high school level. When I coached football, for almost 10 years, and having continuity in your coaching staff, it really helps with having a sense of continuity in your team and having consistency. So that was my thought in what happened with him and why we lacked the discipline that we did before. And you have to think about the transfer portal. So now the coach doesn't have the leverage that he once had before. And then the NIL money. And so just layer upon layer. But I think those are great points by Josh, by you, Wild Bill. And
what year did Clemson embarrass us in the national championship?
2018. 2018 Natty.
Was Damian Harris on that team?
He was on the team that got embarrassed.
And then he wants to talk about what's happening now.
That's what I'm saying. We shouldn't be doing this in the public eye, man. Everybody hates us already.
Hey, it's here. This is what's happening. All right, Will, I'm going to turn it over to you. Talk about, if you don't mind, talk about those comments that Damian Harris had made. Did you watch the whole video? Okay. Yeah. Talk us through it.
I mean, he begins with saying, I feel like he just began it terribly because the first statement out of his mouth was DeBoer's job is in jeopardy with this game. And then he goes on later to say about a minute 30 into it, he says, well, I still understand you got to give a coach some time.
Right.
And so I guess if you want to question DeBoer's ability, the only question I have about him is how loyal is he to Grubb? Because I think we can all agree that Ryan Grubb is not the best offensive coordinator we have. We're too one-dimensional. It's costed us games. But then I look at what makes me confident about DeBoer is we probably just witnessed the toughest streak a head coach has ever had to gone through, and maybe the last 10 years with that Georgia to South Carolina stretch, playing most teams on the road, and all of them were coming off bye weeks going into our game.
That's fair.
And I mean, another thing that inspires confidence about DeBoer is, we hear all the time about all these Saban recruits. That's why Alabama's still alive. I mean, I would argue on offense, our best player is Jeremy Bernard. Would anybody have a counter argument to that?
Nope.
I would say this year I couldn't disagree with you, Justin, with his production and consistency. It's a little shaky as of late, but yeah, I'd agree with that.
And then on the defensive side, I would probably say our corners, Xavier Brown and Dijon Lee, I would probably also accept maybe Tim Keenan and Jan Zapier being very impactful up front. But I mean, the brightest spots of this team are everybody DeBoer brought to Alabama. They're not the Saban recruits that are carrying this team still. So I don't think personally you can judge a coach until he has the players that are in his model. And that's why you see in our next recruiting classes, our biggest question mark is our offensive line. They're letting Ty get hit every other play. We can't run block. Maybe the running backs also aren't seeing the holes. And then that's another problem that he addressed with the addition of Crowell coming in, best running back in the 2026 class. And then, I mean, I look at guys like Caden Proctor and then our right guard position in particular, they're just too heavy. And they're getting blown by every time. And Proctor's 370. I guess he's a little low. He's a little lower now, apparently. And then our right guard hovers around 340, 350. If it's Roberts, Formby, or Vandermark, they're all that 330 to 350 range. And I'm looking at a recruiting class right now, and we don't have a guy over 300 pounds. So I think they're still trying to work in a new system of players. And I mean, especially those players being our brightest spots, I'm not willing to give up on DeBoer until at least year 4, year 5, when he has every player that he wants on the team.
Yeah, I think you make some really good points there, and the thing that concerns me the most, and I will totally give to you that that DeBoer's players are the bright spots. I think you'd be hard pressed not to say that probably the most impactful player on defense would be Justin Jefferson or Bray Hubbard. Those guys have been playing great football,
fantastic
all year.
Yes.
But when I look at what concerns me about DeBoer, and look, I'm a very, very loyal person. You've spent about 30 minutes with Josh, and I still love that guy, so you can see how loyal I am. But
holy shit, shot fired.
But when I look at DeBoer and Jalen Milroe, and then I look at DeBoer and how Ty has been struggling, I think the way you do one thing is the way you do it all, and so it leads me to believe that maybe he's going to be the same way with his coaching staff and accountability there. The piece that gives me a little bit of hope is the incredible improvement that Kane Womack has made from year 1 to year 2 with this defense, but I just don't know if that's going to happen with Grubb. And I mean, I heard the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, giving a dissertation on his bewilderment to some guy out there's offensive strategy or lack thereof. I would presume that was Grubb.
It's
so.
Grubb.
And the other thing I would say is that DeBoer is the guy who can make the ultimate call. And you got guys on the offensive line, you have running backs, you have guys on defense. They don't perform, they get replaced. And look, I'm a humongous Ty Simpson fan. But something is going on with Ty, and there has not been a change. And I know it was like Eastern Illinois, and that this thought is already out there, but the offense ran so much smoother with Mack and with Keelan Russell
in the same game against the same team, the same crappy team.
It looked different, and I kind of had to take a step back and go, because my trust is in Ty. I mean, him as a character guy, him as a hard worker. The team stands behind him as a leader, but man, it's really difficult to see what's going to happen. So we'll go to the X post here. Now, this is Austin RTR. Damian, I respect you and enjoyed watching you play at Alabama, but this is flat out incorrect and an irrational statement. I don't agree with you, Austin, on that. He said, I'm very confident I speak for the majority of Alabama fans when I say this is not how we feel about DeBoer at all. Just thought you should know. And so here's what some guy named Quincy Moran said. I disagree with you, Austin. I agree with much of what Damian said. And then I included Josh in. What do you say? I say give Kalen DeBoer time, and I agree with that, but a lot of straight line words. And then Dijon Lee Jr. Burner, which we will say is Will, he said, name a reasonable replacement, and I'm all ears. And I said this, which can be interpreted as like a smart aleck comment. So if it was, my apologies, Will. But I said naming a replacement is irrelevant to the point Damian is making. And so Will says, you don't fire somebody, or you don't fire someone without a replacement in mind. Damian played in a different era. Saban is gone. Fans have to expect that. So what you want to lose is, so what? You want to lose 2 top 3 recruiting classes and fire someone before a coach has even had a chance to have his own players in? Yeah, you're dumb. And I said, hey, why don't you come on the podcast? And he said, I'd be happy to. And the rest is history there. So Will, I'm so thankful that you're being a good sport and that you came on to talk about it. My thing was truly this, is that I wanted to take Damian's comments in totality, like from start to finish, and say, I think what he's saying is what a lot of us had said. I'd go back to the game after FSU, and I'm the guy that when DeBoer came in, I said, ooh, he's not great at public speaking, but he sure has something when it comes to relating to players. I can never hold him to the Saban standard when it talks about how he articulates and he opines and how he drops wisdom. But DeBoer, he's got to grow. He's got to grow into his own. As a matter of fact, I made a defense video earlier in the season, about 3 minutes or so, when Josh said that DeBoer wasn't able to do things. I said, this is who he has to be. And I think he's answered the call there. He's just got the corner to turn. But really what I was saying, like, I wasn't saying that, I wanted to replace DeBoer. Mainly my focus was, I think that a lot of the comments that Damian made is right, because I myself, Josh has also, Austin Dash, who's not in the program. Boy, if you saw our BAMA hotline, we want DeBoer to put these cats in a chokehold and say, look, this is the standard. And I think stoicism is great, but at a certain point, you've got to unleash the fire. And so I definitely agreed with Damian there. And I also agree that if we go there and we don't look like a better football team against Oklahoma, which is a very difficult place to play, I think his seat starts to warm up. So that's what I was meant. That was my interpretation of what he said, and why I said why I agree with much of what he said. So, Will, I'll turn it over to you, sir. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you call me dumb my own show, I'm okay with it. You go ahead, sir.
Look, I mean, we all can't argue with the fact that we've digressed significantly on offense since, I would say, Tennessee was probably the turning point after that.
Yeah, maybe Missouri, but yeah.
When Ty got hit.
Look, I mean, yeah, I point to it. I encourage y'all to look at this after the show, but there's a hit in question on Ty that I think kind of just switched his playing style. It's at the beginning of the second half. It's about 13 minutes into it, and it just looks like a random scramble for a few yards. But he definitely gets a 300-plus pounder landing on his back in full force. And ever since that, he has looked off. But I mean, to replace him with Keelan or Austin based off a game against Eastern Illinois, I don't know if I'm thrilled about that, especially because of how complex Venables' defense is. I mean, are they ready to handle that? I mean, maybe it's a risk.
I'll say something. You did make the argument that you want to give DeBoer time to get his players in there.
I mean, I would love to see Keelan.
Yeah, well, he's got two freaking baller quarterbacks. One of them that I believe is an assassin. It's going to be probably the next best QB and a Heisman winner in Keelan. And
I agree.
You have to, at some point, and Nick Saban did this a lot. I mean, hell, he benched freaking Jalen Hurts in a national championship game. And it sometimes it just doesn't look right. And you have to make a change to get something going. And that's an issue for me. And I just want to say real quick.
Yeah.
I've been beating the D'Amico drum before DeBoer. I didn't even want DeBoer. If you could ask Quincy,
I was a Schumann enthusiast, so I completely get that.
I think we should still throw the world at D'Amico. He is the man, judging by what he's done in the NFL. The players respect him. His defense is number one, and I mean, that's who I want. But anyway, that's what.
Hey, I mean, I can't disagree with that. I mean. But, I mean, I just look at it as if, okay, there's a situation where I think, okay, Ty, I'm sorry. I appreciate everything you've done that season. And if he has a clean pocket and he's 4 for 11, 30 yards, and he's just missing receivers, yeah, make the change. And that's what happened. That's why Jalen got pulled in the Georgia game. He was 3 for 11. He had 30 rushing yards, and he missed Calvin open in the end zone twice. He couldn't hit a throw. He was just off. And then Tua came in and lit it up. But if we replace him in the Georgia game, I mean, Ty was running for his life 90% of the time. Austin, are we confident that Austin and Keelan are going to be able to just deliver strikes early, or are they going to be running for their life as well? I mean, I guess you just got to take the leap of faith.
Keelan can run for his life, though. He can run. Yeah. He's not like Ty. Ty's not quick, and he's not agile. If he gets in the open space, he's got some speed when he gets his legs open and running. But Keelan has that quick speed that could have evaded the pressure. And I've seen him that play that he threw on the dime where he stopped and threw a touchdown just like that. I mean, he's got all those tools, and I think he could have done something in that game to evade the pressure.
I do think Ty will probably go to the draft this year, and Keelan will take over the reins next year. I imagine Austin probably transfers, if that's my guess.
If he doesn't, then Keelan will transfer because we got 2 more quarterbacks coming in.
And that's why I think DeBoer took 2 quarterbacks in the cycle. Was he was planning on probably? I bet he's more likely to let Austin walk than he is Keelan.
I hope
But
so.
and if he doesn't, then I mean that's another question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The eye test is it's a wrap with that guy.
Yeah. And I mean,
Well, I think,
and then we also got to answer. I guess this goes to DeBoer. Is if he sees if he is still holding on to Grubb next year and there's no change, then there's questions about his ability to not be loyal, and you got to do whatever you got to do to win.
Right.
yeah, and I would say this, and I don't disagree with you there. And some of the trepidation of putting guys in, I think the SEC championship is probably one of the better places to put somebody in
I agree.
because, it's like, hey, let's mix it up. They haven't been able to prepare for someone, but also the game counts, but does it count? And there's you don't know that necessarily, but I would say we had an opportunity to put some guys in against Auburn, and that was of course that's on the road, but at least sitting Ty for just like one series to take the pressure off of him. Maybe it's a pressure relief valve. I don't know. But he hasn't done it. And it's frustrating because like Wild Bill said, what is it? Out of the last, how many was it, Wild Bill? 24?
Last 24 offensive possessions, 11 3 and outs, and 2 have been 4 plays.
Yeah.
So that's 13 out of 24.
I mean, yeah, we can agree that's unacceptable.
It definitely is. And so I'm a fan of DeBoer. I love, there's something about the guy that draws me to him, and I believe that he can continue to grow and be exactly what we're looking for in Alabama. But he, here I am telling a guy making $10 million a year, a very successful head coach in the collegiate, era, or in the collegiate league of football, what he can do. But I think he has what it takes. He has, like the rest of us in our profession, he's got to grow. He's got to step outside of what it is that he's comfortable and what he has been doing in order to challenge himself to get better. And I truly think that he can do that. We've all had to do that. We've all had to get outside of ourselves, to improve ourselves, to get stronger, to perform at a level that we have not been at before in our lifetime. I mean, I've been with the same company over a quarter of a century, and I've had to rise to the occasion. I'm married. I have children. So we're constantly having to better ourselves, and he knows that, and so does he. And there are hard decisions that must be made because ultimately your loyalty has to, number one, be to your family, but number two, be to the team as a whole. And I totally get why he was loyal, to Milroe. I understand why he's being loyal to Ty, but it's a program. The program is bigger than one person. And I think that's why we saw Nick Saban do it. Of course, that was at a different point in his career, but we saw Saban do it at some of the biggest moments, and it paid off. Not everybody's going to throw a touchdown to the Slim Reaper in a national championship game. A lot of times it doesn't work out. But
hey, wouldn't have had the chance if he didn't make the switch.
Wouldn't have had the chance if he didn't make the switch, and then he had to make a switch back. So you're doing what it takes to win. So that's it. Will, thank you for coming on the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was great to have you here. And your verdict, Quincy Moran, you are dumb. Yes or no?
You are not dumb.
Okay.
Josh, what do you say, Josh?
I mean, you made some valid points that I can't disagree with. I mean, I guess all we can really do now is be fans and show up for the next one.
Well, Will, how much slack do you get up there in Nashville?
Oh my God. I would not have shown up to work next day if we lost to Vanderbilt again. I would be working from home for that week. Florida State sucked.
You'd have been waving the flag for Pavia if he'd have won the Heisman, wouldn't you?
Oh, thank God Fernando won it.
Well, Will, you as our guest are welcome to stay on as we bring in Mr. Jay Roche.
Hey, real quick, he's pretty well spoken and he knows what he's talking about. We should probably have him on again since somebody finally accepted our damn invite.
Hey,
Hey,
Alan Dunn was on here. Come on.
No, I'm just well, he hasn't been on again. I'm just saying.
I haven't spoken with him since.
I would love to hear y'all score predictions for the game this weekend, though.
Yeah, we'll do that in the fourth quarter. So, Will, if you have the time, stick around.
What's your prediction, Will? Why don't you write this down, Quincy?
Hey, just a side stat. We're undefeated when I've been attendance this year. I will be making the trip down to Norman this weekend.
All right, how many games you been to? One?
Bama, LSU, and Florida State, or not Florida State, Vanderbilt, LSU, and Auburn.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's go. All right. I feel good about that.
I'm going to tell you this. When I was in Tuscaloosa, Josh, we were at the tailgate. There were two Boomer Sooner fans sitting in their truck, having a beer, hanging out. And because of my buddy, Jay Roche, he's one of my favorite Boomer Sooner fans. I went up to them and said, hey, guys, you got what you need. I want to make sure we're being hospitable. So we talked a little bit about it. And then they told me the very same thing that Will just said. We haven't lost a game that we've been in attendance to. I said, guys, I hope that changes for you today. And it didn't. So, Will, we're counting on you. We're counting on you to be the good juju in Norman.
I'm hoping. Driving down Thursday.
Let's go, man.
Well,
roll Tide, Will.
Roll Tide. If you want to stick around, we're going to do predictions in the fourth quarter. If you want to give your prediction now, you're more than welcome to do it. It's up to you, sir.
I do gotta fly, but I will make my prediction. I'm going to say 21-13 Alabama. And I think we win the turnover margin 3-1.
Woo! 3-1. Okay. I like that, Will. Good looking out, dude.
I hope we score more than that, but we probably won't.
I think it's the race of 21. I don't think we're getting much. I don't think we're getting much after that, especially because they're returning two defensive linemen that they didn't have in the first game.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be the clash of the defenses. Will, thank you for coming on. We will extend an invite to you. I'll send you a link to the YouTube so you can show your friends how you got on and you owned me on my own program.
Hey, thank y'all, man. Y'all have a good one, Will.
All right, Will, take care. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Hey, Quincy, I'd like to say something about the Boomer Sooner fans after the game. I don't know what your experiences were, but they were a-holes, bro, after the game. Like, they were running around looking for somebody to talk shit to and fight. Like, I'm telling you, you can ask Smelly, dude. Like, one of them come up to me for nothing and just staring me in my eyes, just like, woo, just wanting, like, me to say something to them. I'm like, dude, calm down.
Here, look, and Jay Roche can see in the green room, so I'm going to take it that you were sending that to me and not Josh. My experience, and this is the absolute truth, my experience with Boomer Sooner fans on the way to the car is they were all good sports. I'm not just saying that. I told Jeannie that. I thought that
experience.
You know, it was the what you would expect, a group of boomers over here going Boomer and a group of boomers over here going Sooner and celebrating, which they should, but nobody was disrespectful to me.
I must have been I must have been lagging back with the drunks then, because
you probably were.
Yeah, because we were sitting there waiting on the shuttle. You kept walking. So we're just sitting there and they're all coming out and they're celebrating and they're just fired up, hammered, I guess, and just looking to talk their stuff, which I'm okay with. But don't try to fight me. I'm not doing nothing, dude.
I agree. Don't try to fight me. Well, we're going to skip the third quarter and we're going directly to the fourth quarter. And after this, we are bringing on Boomer Sooner, Jay Roche. We'll be right back.
3, 2, 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for the fourth quarter. I'd like to welcome into the BS studio none other than the man, the myth, the legendary Jay Roche. Jay Roche, welcome into the program, sir. You're on mute, I think.
Is that any relation to Ferrero Rocher?
I don't know, but let him get his mic off of mute.
That's a chocolate company. That's
Okay, can you guys hear me okay?
candy.
We got you, Jay Roche. Give it to us.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for having me on, Quincy. I appreciate you. I really do. I listened to this whole thing. You know, Quincy said I was going to be on in about 30 minutes after it, but I've been listening to you guys. Well, the top two guys anyway, disparage Oklahoma. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, and we'll have some fun with it. All right.
Yes.
I do want to comment on your last comment, Josh, about getting in fights with Oklahoma boys. When I went down there when Shula was the coach, we were very pleasant people. Fake punt won the game, but there was no fights. Never saw one any. When you guys came to Norman, we treated you guys with respect. The same way last year, and the same way it's going to be on this Friday night when we play. So I apologize for their behavior. They should have never done anything like that. Most of us are well-spoken and pretty much just the same guys you are. We just root for a different color of red. So.
Yeah, I must have found the low of the totem pole then.
It happens. It happens.
We got them too. Trust me.
We all have them, baby. That's right.
We got a lot of those at Alabama.
Yeah, we know a little bit about being a redneck in Oklahoma too, though. So
yeah. Quincy, how do y'all know each other again?
Well, I'm glad you asked me. You know, I work for this particular company for a long time, and when I moved into a new group within the company, I asked my boss, I said, has there been anybody who's done what I've done that can relate to me in this particular group? Because I don't know what I'm doing. And that gentleman, who I will add is he's an LSU Tiger fan, but I love him anyway. He introduced me to one Jay Roche, and we became fast friends. And that was in November of 2021. And what are we, 4 years later here? Still super tight buddies in the company. And I think of him as a brother now. We're that close. Just a great dude.
So y'all both work for unnamed company?
Yes, we both work for the same company.
So why are we not naming the company?
I don't know. We both work for United Rentals. I don't know why. There it is.
I mean, is there some sort of law or something? You guys.
I mean, if you look my name up on LinkedIn, it's going to say United Rentals, so it's out there. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't. Anyway,
free plug.
There we go. All right, Jay Roche, let's talk to you. What is the sentiment in Oklahoma? We promised not to take all this back to Kalen DeBoer, not that he would even help. But what's the sentiment in Oklahoma? What are you excited about? And what are your concerns going into Friday night's playoff matchup? And one question before that. Out of all the draws you could have got, was it Alabama that you wanted?
Which one do you want me to answer first? I mean, I've got a whole list of things to talk about here. So if that's the one you want me to answer first, I don't really think we care who we play. And that's how confident Oklahoma is. There's not a lot of people that can score on us. Y'all found that out. So did pretty much everybody except for, I don't know. I'm looking at the scores here. There's just not a lot out there that's been scoring on us. So defensive wins championships, which, you know, our last championship is, you know, way before your last championship, granted, you know. But defense won that game. We had to give Florida State 2 points so they could be on the board during that game. So I'm real confident with our defense. And again, you mentioned the two guys coming back. I think Mr. R. Mike Thomas is not coming back. So I think who knows if he is or not. I mean, it's a gameplay. I mean, you never know what Venables is going to do. Sentiment. Sentiment is, you know, I follow a little bit of social media, and I've got a text group of guys that call Sooner Boys, and you know, we share bulletin board material that's coming out of y'all state or y'all supporters, and you know, there's been some animosity on some of the things that have come out, and I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but one of your defensive players named Justin said he was going to come and tear some people's butts because of a picture that our team took on the field after the game. And, you know, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
I never heard about that.
Oh yeah, it's a big deal. I watched it after the game. Our guys were standing on the middle of the field where they've been playing the whole game. They've been on that. I mean, it's not like you run the play and you can't touch your logo in the middle, right? But so
you mean where the staffer gets mad? Okay, yeah, explain that.
Yeah. So one of your defensive, is there a defensive person named Justin that's supposed to be pretty good? Yeah,
Justin.
Well, he comes out and says revenge will be taken, and says some pretty big disparaging. Something you probably should never do. Doesn't matter what team you are, who you're playing, or whatever. That's bulletin board stuff, right? So, I don't know if they were trying to be disrespectful or not. They didn't. I think they were just excited to have won the game and was taking a team picture in the middle of the field. That's what I look like. At least they didn't plant a flag or do something stupid like that, right, Baker Mayfield? Anyway, I think that I'm scared. Yes, sir, Bill.
That area, when the Alabama games is over, they rope that area off so nobody can get onto the logo. Yeah. But still, Justin Jefferson shouldn't have never said that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. And they did remove themselves from it once they figured out, right? They came out and was outside the deal.
At least when y'all beat us, y'all don't storm the field.
They might happen in Norman. It was not going to happen at Tuscaloosa.
No, y'all didn't storm it last year, did you?
No,
so
I don't think so. No, but it wasn't a playoff game either. It's our first playoff game.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But no, I love the rivalry. We've got a history here. 7 or 8 games, 9 games. And it's never been. For Oklahoma, this is going to be the first time that we're going to have a chance to maybe progress. Hopefully we do. I think it's going to be a hard-fought ball game either way. It's going to be cold. Quincy, you said it's cold up there or down there. It's colder up here.
Yes, sir.
This last weekend, I was in Kansas, and it was -3 degrees. So and that cold front followed me home yesterday. So it's cold. It's very cold.
It's not going to be cold this weekend.
What's supposed to be Friday night? It's
not going to be cold this weekend. It's going to be 60 something.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a warm front coming through the whole southeast.
That's
perfect football weather.
Yeah, I like that. One of the questions that I had for you guys is when OU, well, actually, according to Texas, we were the stepchild, and they just brought us in, but we hate Texas. So
we do too.
There was a lot of questions. Well, Oklahoma and Texas aren't going to do very well in the SEC. And as you three sit here, Texas did well last year. We're doing fairly, at least we made the playoffs this year. How do you feel about that now?
I was never one of the people that didn't think y'all would do good. I mean, you're the best 2 teams in the Big 12, and I kind of thought Oklahoma would do better than Texas, and I still believe that moving forward because Texas was a one-hit wonder last year. They're going to perennially lose 2 or 3 games, and I just believe that. So Boomer Sooner is the better of the 2 for me, especially softball. There's all kinds of sports. I think they're just a better program. So I hate the Horns.
Yeah, we need some of them softball players in Tuscaloosa.
Horns down. Horns down.
Yeah, and I'll echo what Josh said. I was never one, like, even going through the state that you live in, that we work in together. Folks were talking about. Look, I think the level of competition is much. The difficulty, the week in and the week out, playing in the SEC, I think is much more difficult than the Big 12 was ever going to be. But I wasn't one of those that said that, OU and Texas weren't going to come in and weren't going to perform. I know that what you guys are facing now is what we faced year in and year out, which is you get in the SEC, you beat each other up. It makes it tough to compete towards the end of the season because you are playing against top-level competition. But I'm one of those weird Alabama fans too, even though, you guys own the record against us. I will root for the Boomer as long as they're not playing Alabama, and I do not root for Texas. I am not a Texas fan whatsoever. Don't have no reason to. But I really think that I think Oklahoma, and I don't agree with Josh. I think Texas is going to continue to improve. And I think the SEC as a whole is just going to continue to get more and more difficult to compete in. And now we're going to 9 games. So if they keep the SEC championship, now you're going to play 10 games on an SEC schedule, and you might have to play the same great team a second time, like Alabama had to play Georgia this year. So to answer your question, I wasn't one of those guys like that was saying, hey, come on here, see about real football. That wasn't me.
It doesn't matter to me, bring it on.
Well, we're glad to be here.
But then I'd turn around and ask you, what did you think when y'all realized y'all were coming into the SEC?
And what do you think now about it?
Man, that's a great question. I was excited, honestly, when this was a rumor a long time ago before it happened, right? I mean, when Stoops was in the program, there was talks about us coming to the SEC. And I don't know what ever happened. That's behind closed doors or whatever. But I was excited that we were going to get to come to the SEC. I was excited to be playing better games. Yes, you do beat yourself up every week pretty much when we come in. OU has known that for the last 2 years. It has the toughest schedule for any college football team the last 2 years in a row. It's the same schedule, right? But we sat at Michigan this year. But, when you have to play Alabama and LSU and Tennessee and Miss, and, those are tough games, and Texas. And you look at Texas's schedule, they played Georgia. And then Vanderbilt, that's anomaly this year, right? Kentucky, some of these lesser teams. And when they get a schedule like we've had the last 2 years, they're going to struggle. They're just going to. And we've known this a long time, Quincy. We've watched Texas forever because we've had to play with them forever. And they are a prima donna school. They talk bigger than what they say they're going to do pretty much every year. And so we know that they can sometimes outpunt their coverage, if you want to call it that. So
Indeed.
This isn't about Texas or anything. Sorry, my dogs are going to go crazy here. If they hear me say the word Texas, they
hear you talking about Texas. They joining in on the shit talking over there.
That's right.
Those are good dogs.
I bet they don't want none of Bebo, though.
I can't even hear you. My daggone dog's barking so loud, so I apologize. You asked me who we'd want to play besides you guys. And
Tulane.
One of my questions, I was thinking James Madison. That might have been a better choice, right? What are you guys' thoughts on being the replacement for Notre Dame, who has a better schedule? And I know everybody's had 100 different opinions.
I'd like to hear how you say they have a better schedule.
Well, they don't have 3 losses.
Okay, I'll chip in. I'll chip in on that first.
And this is going to cause a controversy. I just wanted to hear it.
I want to know I want to know how you think they have a better schedule.
Schedule.
Well, they have a better record. Okay. But here's what I'd say, and I definitely put some thought into this, and went back and looked at who they played and what their records were, and I looked at the 2 teams that were top 25 at the end of the season that Notre Dame played, and they lost. They were close games, but they lost. And then their opponents had a combined record of 55 and 65. And they played absolute garbage competition. And so, yes, they went on a 10-game winning streak, but they played nobody. And they beat nobodies. And they scored lots of points against nobody. So if I compare their schedule to Alabama's schedule, and Alabama had to play, or got to play, I shouldn't say had to play, got to play an additional game, I'm not one that believes that the SEC championship or any of the championships should count because not everybody's playing. So I think that's a bonus game. I understand it counts on the record, but when you line them up, schedule for schedule, strength of schedule, quality of wins, I don't think there is any contest between both of these football teams that were 10-2 in the regular season. There is no contest between them. That's where I stand. Josh, what do you say?
Yeah, I mean, if there's no championship game, we're not even having this discussion. And as a matter of fact, if the game was a little closer, we're not having this discussion. And that's just the way it is. The people that Notre Dame should have an issue with, and the committee and the whole process, is James Madison and Tulane. We're spending all of our, our conversations talking about, well, why did they jump Bama? But why did Bama jump Notre Dame? Why did they get in? But what the real discussion is, why do we have two cupcake teams in the playoffs taking spots away from, how about these two other teams, Notre Dame, Vanderbilt? Why aren't they in the playoffs? That's the real issue. That is the real issue. So that's my thought on it.
Wild Bill, what do you got to say?
Go up there, join a conference. That's all.
Yeah, join a conference. I mean, it just blows my mind that they are upset with the ACC. Like, what? You don't think the ACC wants to actually get their affiliated team into the playoffs over Notre Dame, who won't even fully join their conference? You won't join a conference.
If you won't join a conference,
right?
You shouldn't even be considered for it.
And I don't know if you saw their record for next year, or their schedule for next year. No. They'll be 11-1 or 10-2, and we'll be having this discussion again if they don't change the playoffs. So, that is what it is.
Well, I think we all agree on the same. So I agree with you. I was just throwing that out there because I just wanted to hear confirmation.
Great question. Great question.
How about you guys recruiting this year? How's it coming?
We got number two, the second class, depending on which outlet you look at. I think on 247, we're the second class right now. I think I can look it up.
If we could give that kicker from Oklahoma enough money to come to Alabama, it'd probably jump us to number one.
No doubt, Wild Bill.
Pay him some money. Pay him some money.
We're gonna pay him. We're gonna pay some money. We got 24 signees. We flipped a couple.
It looks like y'all are sitting at number 15. Looks like
that was as of December the 3rd. I haven't really looked at it since then, but he got 13 offense, 12 defense, and I guess we're kind of on the second side of the program as far as the coaches are concerned, because hell, Brent Venables could be fired last year. He was going to be fired after year one, right?
That's right.
So y'all are going through that with DeBoer, and I like the kid, or like the coach. I think he's smart. Venables didn't have to make full team decisions until he moved to Oklahoma, right? He was a D coordinator, right? And so I think they learned how to do that and grow as a coach. And I think both of them are going to get better and better and better. I don't want to lose Venables. I never gave up on him. I wanted him from the beginning. And he made a good quote the other day. He said, I'm the defensive coordinator because I'm good at it. Well, okay. There you have it. Give somebody up. Now he might need to call somebody in to start learning how to call offensive plays, but that's a different subject altogether. So.
Hey, J-Ro, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Did y'all sign a big-time quarterback, or is he going to get another one? Is he looking at the portal?
He got number one quarterback in the nation. That's what we were told. Kid's name is, I had it pulled up here. I was even prepared for that. I got to get his name up here, though.
Hey, John Mateer has another year left, though, don't he?
Yeah, he does. And we have Hawkins in there as well. He's still young enough. Excuse me.
I thought Mateer was a graduate transfer.
He's a junior. He redshirted.
Well, as Jay Roche's looking that up, I think, just what Will was talking about earlier is that, the offensive linemen that we are recruiting at Alabama seems to be a lighter, more efficient offensive line, but that doesn't speak to run blocking to me. So especially with, the defensive lines in the SEC. So it'll be interesting. Although you can add, like if you get a guy that's 290, when he gets into college, you can add 15 or 20 pounds of good solid muscle and maybe put an extra 10 pounds of weight on him from there. So, you have a very athletic, very strong 320-pound offensive lineman as opposed to like right now, Formby is just, his feet are too slow. They're too heavy. Same thing with Caden Proctor. It seems like their footwork is off. They may be too big for their britches, so to speak. I'm not making fun of them. I'm just saying there are some challenges there. And I think it could hurt Proctor in the NFL, but the NFL will get him and they'll finally tune him even more. They can see the future of what he's going to be. Roche, did you get it picked up for who your recruit is?
Yeah, the kid's name, of course, my phone goes, is Bo Bentley. Bo Bentley. Apparently he's a double threat quarterback. Supposed to be pretty good. We only got 3 top 100 kids so far. They're all seniors. All 24 of them or 25 of them are seniors in high school, so they're coming. They're not juniors or they're not, portal yet. And then we took Mr. Hatton away from Texas A&M. He pledged to us in 23. Then in 24 he went to A&M. I guess that's when they get all their money, and Jimbo hadn't gotten fired yet. And he's coming to Norman next year. So we're liking our recruits. Brent does a different deal, guys. He's one of them cats that, if you commit to me and we offer you a deal and you say yes, and then you go look at somebody else, usually he just says, see ya, right? You're out. We withdraw everything. So for this Hatton kid to come from Texas A&M that was a flip and now is a flip again, he must be pretty good, because I don't know why Brent would do that, but
what position does he play?
What's that?
What position does he play?
Running back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you there, Jay Roche. One of the things I looked at when DeBoer coming in is that at Washington, he had teams full of 3-star, 4-star players, didn't have a lot of top line recruits, which in my opinion, if you could take I really don't know what ranking the stars matter anyway. But when you bring them in, if you have the ability to develop your players, that to me tells me more about your recruiting class than how many stars it has while you're recruiting them in, because they're not there. They are not facing the top level of competition every single day. A lot of times those guys are the best player or one of the few best players on the team. And so the competition is not as stiff as when you get up to the collegiate level. So I have a lot of respect for the coaches that go after the diamonds in the rough, and then they develop their roster and they're able to be successful with that. I mean, it's exciting to get the top line recruits, but you got to think about how often does that work out, and who do they become? Because, with 5 stars, it can easily come with 5 stars of problems, attitude problems, work ethic, etc. So I'm interested to see what that looks like, and what, after this season is over, what does the offseason look like for Alabama? Because it's likely that it's going to be now a majority Kalen DeBoer roster. All right.
Yeah, and that's exactly what is happening with Venables right now, right? These are his kids now, right? Mm-hmm. So after a couple of years, he's in there and he's bringing in his type of a player. So I think I hope we stay up at the top of the, levels with everybody else, we started this year at 8, right? But, we bummed down. So anyway. I think it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great atmosphere. I hope Will has a good time when he comes up here.
I hope he has a great time, especially after the game.
Well, here's what I'll say. And I agree. Look, Kriegel he's putting some quotes in. Thank you guys for quoting as we go along here. I would have to agree with you. As far relative to our past plays, relative to our plays in general, when teams starting in that Georgia second half have had the opportunity to look at us, they've exploited us for our issues. Oklahoma did a great job of it as well. Auburn even did a great job. Georgia did an outstanding job in the SEC championship. How come we're not running some shorter developing plays? And those are things that we as Alabama fans, we really cannot figure out.
Yeah.
So here's what.
Quincy, in the
Go ahead,
first
Joe.
quarter, we'll know if there's been adjustments or not, because it's either going to look like crap or it's going to look like, hey, this is fun.
Hey, you know, you say the first quarter, and I agree with you, but I think we've been pretty right on point within the first 1 to 2 series offensively.
Yeah.
To be able
I'm not
to
even
be able to
looking
call.
forward to this, honestly, man.
Yeah. My challenge is with our offense specifically, because I think our defense did a great job, you know, playing against Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's defense did a great job of confusing Ty in the offense, and we're very one-dimensional. So I don't know how that's going to change in 2 weeks based on
turnover battle's going to win it. That's what I think.
That's what won it the last time, right? The turnover battle, because Alabama moved the ball all over the field against Oklahoma. I think they had over 400 yards of total offense, but it doesn't matter how much you move it. It matters how many points you score. That's what matters. Now, the last question before we do our predictions for the game, do you like this particular side of the bracket? Let me know, guys. Roche, I know you're speaking from the OU side, but do you like this particular side of the bracket? Roche, do you like their side that we're on?
Well, I mean, we're on the same side of the bracket, so it's both of us here.
Yeah, of course.
So, I mean, we got to play Indiana after we win Friday, and so I think Indiana's not going to score as many points as they have either team that they play, Alabama or OU, because I mean it's totally different ball games, right? It's not Big 10, right? I mean the only team they really played was Ohio State. So, and then you got Texas Tech. You know, we have a pretty good history against Texas Tech. So I wouldn't mind doing that either. So I think our biggest hurdle is Friday night in Norman, Oklahoma. Plain and simple.
I love our side of the bracket. I think it's the best path to the championship game, or to the semifinals and then to the championship game, because you avoid the hottest team in football, in my opinion, in Georgia. I know that everybody, you know, Indiana, they won 13 straight games, but I don't know why. I still don't believe in them. I guess it's probably their history. I have no idea why that's at the front of my mind, but I feel like we could play with Indiana because, like you said, their offense. I mean, if you look at that game against Ohio State, that was a defensive struggle, and we've got good defenses. Both teams have great, you know, very elite. I think our defenses are elite, especially when they're healthy. So that's going to give Indiana issues, and they've also got an elite defense. So does Texas Tech. They got elite defense. But I think we match up pretty well with these teams. Obviously, we see how we match up with Georgia right now. I don't want to play them unless it's in the championship game. And then Ohio State, I saw what they did in the playoffs last year. I don't want none of that smoke until the championship game either. I like where we're at.
Yep. Wild Bill, what are your thoughts?
Let's roll, baby. Get it on.
Okay, Mike, what's his name? Mike, what was that dude's that
you play
Mike,
who?
okay, Mike Price. Odds rolling, baby.
Well,
yeah, that was somewhere he shouldn't have been though. When that was,
he didn't realize he was in Alabama when he did that.
Well, here's the thing, and I agree with the sentiment that you guys are passing on. I think we have a very favorable side of the bracket. I do think that the first round of the playoffs I think it has a great chance of being indicative of who makes it to the finals. I think we both collectively, based on the research I have, Alabama's defense is ranked number 13 total defense, Oklahoma number 10. So we have two very elite defenses. Now, look, Ohio State, Indiana, Texas Tech, Georgia, maybe their defenses are ranked higher. But I do think we have a very favorable side. I would say Indiana and Texas Tech are not the teams that we're used to. And that's how they are here.
I don't know us either.
They don't know us, and they don't play the same level of competition, which for them could be good, and or it could be bad, and that's why you still play the football game. So, with that, Roche, let me ask you, buddy, before you go, did you want to make a prediction in this week's game on the BS podcast?
Well, I know I'm going to be the underdog on the amount of people that are going to be saying Alabama's going to win the game, but I don't think you will. We are a 1.5 point underdog at home. We love that, by the way. More bulletin board. 24-20 OU.
Alabama's favored.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right now they are. It keeps going back and forth. It keeps going back and forth.
It was OU up 1.5. Now it's showing we're favored by 1.5. I think that's going to swap back.
Yeah, I think
keep that bulletin board material back away from you guys because hopefully you're favored by the end of the weekend.
I got you.
All right, so what'd you say? 24-20.
24-20 is Jay Roche's prediction. And let's go to you, Wild Bill. What is your prediction for Alabama OU round 1 of the playoffs?
Well, let's go with Oklahoma's score in Tuscaloosa. Alabama 23, Oklahoma 17. Don't ask me how we'll get 23 because it sure won't be our field goal kicker to get us there.
I think it was 23-21 in Tuscaloosa. Wild Bill.
Yeah, I know. I said let's go with it. Oklahoma's 23.
Got it.
Okay. 23-17, Bama.
All right. What do you got, Josh Moran? What is your prediction for the playoffs?
Well,
playoffs.
I'm cheating. I asked Grok, and just it. So Grok's prediction: Alabama gets revenge in a defensive battle, winning 20-17. The Crimson Tide reduces turnovers, exploit Oklahoma's offensive inconsistencies at home, and cover the spread, though expect field goals and a few big plays. This aligns with the tight regular season result, and playoff stakes pushing a one-possession game. I'm going with 20-17.
Well, thanks a lot, Grok, because you're impeding on my score, kind of. But I'll tell you, here's how I see it, guys. In the first quarter, Alabama comes out to face Oklahoma in Norman. We heard it's going to be 66 degrees and clear skies, but I don't think that's going to be the case because Oklahoma loves the cold weather in the wintertime. I think it's going to get mighty chilly on Friday night. Now, Quincy, as they do their –
I'm looking at it's 4 days from now. The freaking weather's going to be sunny and 67 degrees.
You're looking at the wrong thing.
The only people.
56.
How many?
The only 56.
Oh, 50. Okay.
And look, I'm going to tell you this: 56 in Oklahoma is colder than 56.
Oh, stop it! That is football weather, dude. You can. Okay. It's not even freezing.
All right.
I know what you're saying, but come on, that's not hot.
All right.
It is not.
Well, here's what I'm saying here. Okay, look. If you trust the weathermen, you probably trust politicians are telling you the truth as well. Now, let me get my prediction.
No way it's going to be that big a difference by Friday, guys. I've been following it for weeks.
Okay. I really think it's probably going to be in the high 30s. That's what's coming. Mother Nature is going to test the Crimson Tide. All right, here we go. Okay. I've got nothing to back that up. Alabama OU, quarter number 1. It is a slugfest. Both Alabama and OU go scoreless in the first quarter in a tight defensive battle. In the second quarter, Alabama scores a touchdown, Alabama. And it is a 7-3 second quarter. Going into the half, 7-3, Alabama. We come out for the third quarter. Both Alabama and OU score touchdowns. And then we get to the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, 7 points. Excuse me, I got it all mixed up. Anyway, my prediction, Alabama 21, Oklahoma 17. Alabama goes in the DeBoer era to the second round of the playoffs. They shake hands with the Boomer Sooner, and they go on to face Indiana. That is what I'm hoping.
We say all this and watch it go to double overtime and freaking be like 45-43 or something.
Well, if it goes down to that, our field goal kicker is pretty good. Didn't he hit like 350 yarders or 60 yarders?
You don't kick field goals in overtime, buddy.
That's a fair point, but we don't know. But it'll be interesting to watch. I'm actually not confident in our chances to beat OU in Norman. I think that place is cursed for Alabama. I've been there for a basketball game. I'll be going back next year for a basketball game. And we just seem to underperform.
On your birthday.
That's true. The only thing that kind of gives me a little solace that we can go and compete is that we beat some pretty difficult teams on the road this year, and Georgia being one of them. I know we did not show that in the SEC championship, but I think we got a little time to heal up and hopefully be a bit more competitive. I do think it's going to come down to the turnover margin, who takes care of the ball. Both offenses are struggling this year to be extremely productive unless they're playing nobodies. So we will see what happens. Jay Roche, thanks for coming on the program, brother. Your final words.
Nice to meet you, sir.
You know what my final word's going to be? Boomer.
Yeah.
Loser.
Let's hope. All right, Jay Roche.
Hang on, let me hear it. Boomer.
Sooner.
Loser. Come on, guys.
No.
Bama fans, where you at?
I'm not in this.
I'm not getting in that.
Loser.
I'll wait.
Sooner.
I'll wait until Monday to participate, or maybe late Friday night.
Late Friday night. That'd be a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, Jay, thank you so much for coming on the program, brother.
Yes,
Really
sir.
appreciate you being here.
Bad luck in the game. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for being on with us.
Yes, sir. Very nice to meet you, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, brother O'Shea. Roll Tide.
Boomer.
Roll Tide. Loser.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this episode. I think it was a lot of fun. I think it worked out with Will. What do you think, guys? What's the feedback on having Will on the program?
I like Will. I just, you never know who you're going to get when you get a random user on X to come on your program. But he was,
it was all good.
Yeah, he was good to have.
Did you like my comment that you can never trust anybody on X who doesn't have their name in their in their user ID?
Yeah,
I mean,
because you don't have your name in your user ID.
Yeah, but that's not the point I was trying to make. I was just saying you don't know who you're getting when you get a random X user. You know me. So.
I know, but it's just the premise. No, I thought Will did a great job. I wasn't offended that he called me dumb. I just looked at it as an opportunity to get him on and let's talk about it. I think it went very well. He was a great contributor to the show. Obviously, he knows his Alabama football. He does have a master's degree from the University of Alabama. So compared to him, I'm dumb, and I accept that. Wild Bill, great to have you on. Thank you for your Bama bullet points. Josh, your final words as we kick off.
Roll Tide.
Championship week.
Grandpa Rivers is staring over my shoulder. Look at him.
I was so excited to see him, to see his football team back home, watch him throw a touchdown pass.
Yeah,
they were cool. Jacked, dude. That was awesome. I say, let it rip, dog. All right, Wild Bill, your final thoughts?
Couldn't y'all just hear his wife? Now, baby, don't you get hurt.
Hey,
we're not through yet.
he ain't going. He ain't through. He sure ain't.
Roll Tide. Boys, get ready to play ball.
I hope so.
That's right.
Play ball.
And look, hey, football echoes life. And I would say that you control your destiny, Alabama. So what you decide to do with it is up to you. We know that the entire OU program is going to be on the other side, and they're going to create some resistance. It's a tremendous atmosphere. This is what you live for, though. You don't live for the easy games. You come to Alabama because you want to play the toughest competition and have the opportunity to be successful in difficult environments in front of everybody on the planet. That is why you're here. So we're calling you to rise to the occasion, Alabama. Stand up, make a run in this playoffs. You are, 3 games away from playing in the national championship. And let me tell you this. After the Florida State game, none of us thought we would be looking at a 10-3 season, being seeded number 1 in the SEC championship. We know it's all house money, but we're looking for you guys, the good guys, to go out and perform. Receivers, block and catch. Linemen, block, tackle. Ty Simpson, prepare yourself. Simplify what you're doing. Keep it super simple. Pick them apart, and let's go get a win. What do you say, boys? That's my call to action for the Crimson Tide. So for Josh Moran, for Wild Bill, I'm Quincy Moran, a.k.a. The Q Dog. And this is the BS Podcast. Roll Tide, everybody. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
One message for you from your aunt. She will bust both of you in the head. Can y'all hear me?
Not rocket science, you know.
I think you, like me,
have a face for radio.
Can y'all hear me?
We gonna play with the players we got. Next man up.
That's why it sucks.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
This kind of unprofessionalism does not need to be tolerated. And I mean it. Like,
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
what the hell is going on here? Just all hang up.
Another episode of the BS Podcast.
Hang on.
Moran.
Hang on. There's all kinds of noise in my ear now.
Oh, jeez.
We need a little bit more professionalism.